And welcome to Lunchbreak Live, real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. I am Cari de la Cruz, really happy to be with you on this hump day for me in sunny Southern California. I was going to say just Southern California, but you know what? It's really sunny out there. And it's a good looking day. And right now I have a whole bunch of people hanging out outside my office. So if you happen to hear a little chatter in the background, it's because there's it's a parade. There's like 7 or 8 people out there. So just ignore them. They'll go away. Anyway, welcome. So glad you guys are here. I see people joining, names popping up, people I know, Bonnie and Nancy. And let's see, who else is here? I see Kathy. Yay, Kathy, how are you? And I think more and more people are going to pop up. Right on. So glad you guys are here. All right, so I started out with this idea today on what the show was going to be called. And I was going to do this talk. And, then something else came in and hijacked the thought and took over with this other thing that I thought it kind of hit me as well, that's kind of profound. I want to talk about that. So if I'm curious about it, I'm hoping you guys will be curious about it too. And that is why, but before I get too far into this, I'm going to tell you, we're going to do thinking today. We're going to be digging deep, but I know you have it in you because this is a smart show. You've heard me say it before. This is not wimpy. I don't gloss over or varnish over stuff, and I do not talk down to you guys. I want us all to dig deep and figure out what is really under the diseases of obesity and food addiction. And in order to do that, we have got to be some deep thinkers and, consider stuff that we hadn't thought about before. So with that said, the name of today's show is, hello, my name is Cari and I'm a ... All right. Now, obviously that probably sounds familiar to you guys, and, don't worry, I'll get into exactly why it is that I'm mentioning that as I follow my notes. So you have heard, before I explain why I'm calling the show that, you guys have heard that saying, whatever you say after I am, you are. You are that thing. So be careful what you say, right? You've heard that. A lot of motivational speakers say it. All right. So, for example, if you say, I am a failure, then you're a failure. I am not going to make my goal. I'm not good at that. I'm afraid. I'm always late, right? So you've heard people talk about that. And the idea behind it is that I am, okay, the use of that phrase, I am, gives you intention and purpose. So when you speak the words into existence, you're like speaking them into being. Okay, but I'm not into that stuff. Exactly. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying that I'm not into that stuff. I don't do that. But I do agree that we listen to ourselves a whole lot more than we think. And our words are unbelievably powerful. So when we say we're ugly or worthless failures, we do things that ugly, worthless failures do. See? So that's the whole idea behind the motivational books and videos and courses and all the people, the Wayne Dyers of the world that would say, whatever you say after I am, you are. All right. So basically, I just kind of think it comes down to this. Say what you are and mean it. Don't say what you aren't or you'll be it. Say what you are and become it. That's kind of like what the whole thing is in a nutshell without getting all existentialist on you. All right. So there's that. All right. So set that aside for a minute, the whole I am thing. Now, all right. Now there's the whole don't label me thing. All right. Don't label me. The movement that says, okay, well, when you label me, you limit me. Or I'm more than a label. I'm me. Or labels are defining and demeaning and they force you to be something you might not want to be or you aren't. Okay. So people take that position as well, the don't label me position, right? Well, I think in order to do that, we have to look at who gave you the label. First of all, where'd the label come from? Maybe you labeled yourself. Maybe society labeled you, they assigned that label to you. So for example, think about these labels, okay? Maybe a lot of us heard these when we were in school, and these might be the labels that a lot of us are responding to. Socially challenged, awkward, disruptive, disobedient, inattentive, poor student, underachiever, slow learner, bully, victim, intolerant failure. So if we were given those labels when we were younger, well, then of course we're going to have a problem with labels. We're going to say, don't label me, because when you say that about me, that's who you think I am, and I don't have to think I am that person. The funny thing is, how often do we, when we're given those kinds of labels, think we are that person? Okay, so I get it. I get the whole don't label me thing. I do absolutely get that. But not all labels are alike. Okay, so what about these labels? Mother, father, daughter, sister, cousin. Okay, well, okay, so if that's the case, here's how you can label me. Are you ready? You can label me daughter, wife, mother, friend, and woman. Fine. I'm good with those labels. No problem. They don't limit me, right? And oh, okay, they define me. Yeah, that's pretty much who I am. But I'm also going to add some labels. I'm going to add funny, over 50, tall-ish. I used to be a little taller, but I'm shrinking. Still, reasonably tall. Fiery redhead, storyteller, and evidently talker. Okay, so these are labels that I am willing to add. So, okay, remember that I am that I told you to set aside? Now we're going to come back to it. If I combine I am with labels, here's how that might sound. I am a funny, tall, redheaded, over 50 wife and mother. I am also in recovery from obesity and food addiction and have been food abstinent and sober for more than 3 years. Lots of labels and I aming there, don't you think? Okay. All right. So what brought this up? I mean, it's always something, right? Well, I mean, especially when I thought I was going to talk about that other thing, which I will talk about, by the way. I'm just not going to talk about it today. All right. As usual, something popped into my head while I was in the shower. I do my best thinking in the shower or on the freeway. I don't know what that's all about. And I didn't have the answer. That's the thing. It's like it came to me and I went, yeah, what's that all about? So I decided I was going to dig deeper and give it some thought. And then that's when I came up with today's show. Hello, my name is Cari, and I am a recovering compulsive overeater. Okay, that's quite a mouthful and a label, don't you think? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to back up the truck for a second and think about this, okay? You've heard that phrase in the 12-step world, right? Hello, my name is, and I am a, right? But here's what I want you to think about, okay? In Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, you say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I'm an alcoholic, right? And I wondered what they said in Narcotics Anonymous. I'm like, well, what do you say in Narcotics Anonymous, right? This is the interesting thing. You say, hello, my name is, and I'm an addict. So you don't say I'm a drug addict. You don't say I'm a meth addict or a heroin addict. You don't say that. You say, I'm an addict, okay? But in Overeaters Anonymous, which, by the way, is not Food Anonymous, did you notice that? The other one, Alcoholics Anonymous, narcotics, they're naming a substance, okay? But in Overeaters Anonymous, you say something different. You say, hi, my name is Cari, and I'm a compulsive overeater. Whoa, that is very different, don't you think? Because I'm a label. I guess I'm a label. I mean, what does it mean? What does that mean? More importantly, does it mean I'm a food addict? See? Because it's not called Food Anonymous. It's not following the same pattern. That was what bugged me. I'm like, I don't get it. Why doesn't it follow the same pattern? So I thought about it. And I think it means what it says. There's nothing like mysterious about it. It says that here's what I think. Okay. It says that it is what I do. Okay. It's not saying what I am necessarily. It's saying what I do. And you know what else I think? I think that if more people understood what OA, Overeaters Anonymous, was all about, they would realize that they need to choose recovery from what's eating them. Obesity and what? Maybe food addiction, but not necessarily. Do you see? We often look at these programs as being addiction like specific and saying, well, I'm not an addict. I'm not an addict. And we're very adamant because, again, that's a label. And if we say I'm an addict, that's an I am. And we don't like those connections, right? I hear a lot of people say that. I hear a lot of people say that. And you know what? Okay, here you go. Not everyone who's obese is an addict. And not everyone who's an addict is obese. but that doesn't make the label untrue. This is where the logic is going to come in here, okay? All right, here's what I think. I think that if you are active in the disease of obesity, which, by the way, is not a number on a scale or the BMI chart, okay? I am not looking for a specific number or category here that says, oh, here you are obese and here you are normal. Because guess what? You can behave in abnormal or unnormal ways and be in the normal category. So really, what's that worth? Not a whole lot in my book, because it's a behavior. It's a way of being. It's a way of thinking and feeling. And when all of that goes on together, you know, when it's my behavior about food, it's my thinking about food, it's my obsessing about food. Well, guess what? That could make me a compulsive overeater in a hurry, huh? A compulsive overeater. Maybe not in one sitting. This is another place where people love to just say, oh, no. Don't label me with that. Don't say, you know, I am this, because no, I don't sit down and just like eat the whole buffet line, okay, at one sitting. I do not overeat in one sitting. Well, last time I checked, there was no quantification for how much you must consume in order to be considered a compulsive overeater. And no one ever said how quickly you had to consume it. So there are no guidelines or rules for that where you say, like the BMI chart, where you say, well, as long as I only overconsume this much, I'm not considered a compulsive overconsumer. Because I'm still in this category here, you know, or if I obsess about it, but I don't overconsume, do you see what I'm saying? We're parsing stuff here that we do not need to be parsing because it's not helping us. No compulsive overeaters. No, there's a comma in there. I gotta put the comma. No, comma. Compulsive overeaters overeat, whether it's 1 day or 2 days or every day or frequently or only on weekends. I love that one. I only cheat on weekends. I only let myself get away with it on weekends compulsively. So these people overeat compulsively. And here's how that looks. They don't stop when it's time to stop. They often start when it's not time to start. And they say they can't control themselves and food is their enemy. Is any of this sounding familiar to anybody besides me? Compulsive overeaters usually say the food calls to them incessantly and won't leave them alone. Have you ever uttered those thoughts in your own head? Compulsive overeaters feel helpless and trapped. I don't know, maybe you feel the same way. They can't stop thinking about it once they start thinking about it. Okay, maybe they're not thinking about it all the time, but once they start, baby, there's no stopping. Eating is a compulsive experience, right? So they eat compulsively. And overeating, and I am not talking about like Thanksgiving type gorging, I'm talking about eating more than the body needs. That is what constitutes overeating. So when they do that, it's more frequent than just eating. See? When they do that compulsive eating more than the body needs, that's what constitutes overeating. All right? So a lot of us think that we have like this, I don't know, category or these levels or this bar chart or whatever it is, and we say, as long as I stay under this level, I'm not an overeater. Well, overeating, however that looks, however it happened, in whatever number of sittings it took, whatever it was that you were overeating, that's what got us here. That's what allowed the obesity to take hold and thrive unfettered, okay? Or the food addiction for me, all right? Or the compulsive overeating, if you will. So here's my question. This is the question. This is where we need to think about this. If OA is not about food addiction, which is not about the food, by the way, what is it about? I hear Jeopardy music in my head, and I don't know why. Anybody? Anybody? I'm going to answer this because we all know how Facebook can be very slow and laggy in getting back to me and out of order, okay? If OA is not about food addiction, which means it's not about the food, what is it about? I think, this is just my answer and what I think it's about the compulsion and the behavior. So for example, I compulsively, obsessively, unconsciously, self-consciously, impulsively, incessantly, insert, adjective or adverb of your choosing, eat too much of some things. And see, again, I'm going to make this distinction, which may not be entirely accurate, so don't quote me. But like Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm hard pressed to find someone who has a problem with alcohol who doesn't have a problem with pina coladas, but they're like, okay, well, I can't do margaritas, but I could do pina coladas. I'm good with those. Or I could do, beer. I just can't do the hard stuff. Or, I think if people put themselves in that category of they're obsessive drinkers of all alcohol or any alcohol or whatever, it's a problem. Alcohol's a problem. Narcotics. Well, I can do, heroin. It's the meth that gives me the problem. No, it's pretty much like across the board, right? Narcotics. But food is funny because food is not across the board. It's not all food. It's some food, and it's not the same food for everybody. So that's why I think we have this distinction. But when it all boils down to it, whether it's alcohol or whether it's narcotics or whether it's food or obsessive compulsive overeating, it all comes down to the behavior, right, that results from the thinking. And addiction, to me, is the unhealthy thinking. Whether we are thinking unhealthy thoughts and then acting out those unhealthy thoughts about alcohol, or whether it's about drugs, or whether it is about the food that we overconsume, it's about the behavior. And it's about how we feel about ourselves, right? How we feel about life, how we respond to life, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't matter what program you're in, what 12-step program you're in. All right, so if I label myself a compulsive overeater, does that mean I will always be that thing? This hangs people up, right? Okay, I take you back to the whole I am or the label thing. Don't define me, don't limit me. If you label me that thing, then I'm always that thing, whatever. Okay, well, guess what? I think so. Yes, I do think so. If I label myself a compulsive overeater, does that mean I will always be that thing? Yes. Okay, but if I add the word recovering in front of it, well, that changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. So if I say that I am addicted to food, does that mean that I can never not be addicted to food unless I say I am not addicted to food? Okay, this is where the logic comes in. Are you with me? Are you sticking with me? I think it is more accurate to say I am addicted to some food and do not have a healthy relationship with myself when I am in an unhealthy relationship with it. That's pretty profound. That is a huge distinction. And to me, that is what differentiates this whole battle that we wage, this whole thing that we are trying to deal with. The reason you guys tune in and listen to me babble on every single day, this really, to me, is the heart of it. It isn't about the label, but it is about understanding what it is that we are. And I believe that when we're talking about obesity, there was some compulsive overeating going on there, a lot more than a lot less. Okay? That's what I think about that. So when it comes right down to it, I don't really care what you call yourself or how you identify. It doesn't matter to me. Or how you describe the problem. It doesn't matter to me, okay? Whatever word you find or whatever phrase or whatever it is, okay? If it's a problem, then it's a problem. And problems want solutions. They want treatment. They want to have some action behind them so that they are not a problem anymore or they're a managed problem, okay? And you need to address it, however that looks to you. Not because you have a label, okay? Not because there's like some label, like you have to walk around with a shirt on that says I am this thing. Not because of what you say after I am, in other words, but because this is why. This is why I think you need to address the problem. You are worthy of life in recovery. That's why. That's like the motivation for this whole thing. You want to talk about a motivational speaker? What they should be saying? You are worthy of life in recovery. And maybe that's where you can start this whole thing. I am worthy of life in recovery from obesity and compulsive eating. To me, that's really powerful and empowering. So, have you guys ever wondered about a 12-step program for your eating problem, but stopped because you didn't want to define yourself as an addict, or you didn't think the label fit you. I don't know, has anything changed your way of thinking since I began the show today? Now that you know it's about compulsion, do you think that changes your beliefs and explains your behaviors? What do you think? I mean, does this encourage you to think and see differently? Do you think that labeling yourself as someone who has the disease of obesity limits you from treating the disease? You have to answer that. I can't answer that for you. Do you think that you have to call yourself a food addict in order to choose recovery? So a lot of questions that you have to answer for yourself, but I'm hoping that I opened up the dialogue a little bit and encouraged you to see it in a different light. See it in a light that maybe you had not considered, and maybe maybe I've helped you create an opportunity that you never knew existed, that you had, for whatever reason, shut yourself off from. You've said, no, because that's not me, I can't go there. Or I don't need that. I don't need to go there, so I won't. Well, maybe if you see it in a different light and you say, you know what? It's not about the food. It's about the compulsion. It's about the fact that I eat too much of some food and I don't stop once I start. Obviously, there's a problem. You know, you don't weigh 320 pounds if you are not an overeater. I've got news for you. You are clearly overeating something. I know your thyroid is broken. I know you have metabolic issues. I know obesity runs in your family. I know you take medications that cause you to gain weight. I know you're probably menopausal and maybe you gained the freshman 50. I know. But somewhere beyond all of that stuff that other people deal with, somewhere beyond that, there's overeating happening for whatever reason. And if you're not ready to own the reason that you're doing it, if you still want to say it is because of the medication, all right, start there. It is because of the medication that I am what? Overeating. You still have to do something about it. I'm not going to sit here and judge you and say you're bad and wrong and you're weak. Let's just call the problem a problem. We're not the problem. We have a problem. And I think now, based on kind of what I came up with today, doesn't that problem have a solution that you could reach out for? For me, it looks like a 12-step program called Overeaters Anonymous. Not Food Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. Because clearly, I overeat some things once I start them. Therefore, my solution is to not start them. See? That might work for you. So listen, I am going, oh God, you guys are saying such great things. I don't want to go long. What time is it? Let's see, what time is it? I want to see what you guys are talking about because I just think this is so cool. All right. Oh my goodness, you guys have been chatting up a storm. Okay, so let me start at the top. Hi, Christy and Kathy and Nancy and Bonnie. Yes, I know I did shout outs at the beginning of the program. And Mama and Jerry and Sarah and Melissa. All right, help, Mom can't get in again. I hope you're back. Let's see here. And another Melissa. So now we have like a Melissa like sandwich, I guess you could say. Okay, Kathy, we say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone else. We need to work on being more kind to ourselves. Absolutely. Could not agree with you more. Absolutely. So if you want to start with the I am worthy, I think that's a great place to start. All right. You're here. All right. I knew you'd be back, Mama. And you're not over 50. I'm pretty sure I am. Because once you turn 50, you're like over 50, right? Isn't that how it works? I mean, unless they updated something somewhere, like how this whole thing works, it's like your birthday comes and there's like a 50 on the cake. And like people give you birthday cards that say you're 50. Okay. The next day, doesn't that make you over 50? I'm over 50. I'm going with that one. Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, good. I'm keeping that label. A nice try, though, Christy. Thanks a bunch. I love that. But no, I got to own that one. All right. Gender-specific redhead. I know, right, Mom? Yeah, I am. Let's see here. Scrolling. And Angela, you made it. All right, girl. So glad you're here. Leonor, are you still here upstairs? Are you still with me? I hope so. Let's see. Hola, chica. Let's see. Christy, my sponsor told me, she says, I'm a compulsive eater because after surgery, we can't overeat like we used to, but we are compulsive about eating and things surrounding it. So it's the behavior. Well, guess what? I found a way to overeat after I had surgery. And you're right, the eating looked different, but I was still overeating. And I was doing it compulsively because, I don't know, one Oreo is too many. And I would find a way to get 5 in still. Where in the past I might have eaten the whole package. But really one was too many. So I was overeating by eating one Oreo. See? That's how I define it. You don't have to define it the same way. I'm just saying that's how I look at it. But she is absolutely right. A compulsive eater. Whatever that looks like, if you're doing it compulsively, doesn't feel good. You don't have peace. You don't have serenity if you are feeling compulsive and obsessive and like you're not in control, right? You're like, I'm somebody else when that's happening, right? So you're right. Compulsive is really the key, not the eating. Hi, Jean. I'm really glad that you are here. All right, scrolling down. Elisa, so glad you're here. And compulsive shopper. Okay, yeah, I was too. That'll get you in trouble in a hurry, okay? That's why I had to institute, and it's not the whole I don't need it rule because we find all kinds of ways to justify things that we need. I don't have a pair of shoes that style and that color. I need a purse that goes with the shoes that I did not have in that style and that color. I need a blue dress because I don't have one. I need a long blue dress because now I have a short blue dress. Do you see how that works? So no, the need thing didn't work for me. It was just no, that's not an option. You don't need to be doing that, okay? No, not going to be an option, not doing that today. So that's how I have to handle myself as a compulsive shopper. Compulsive over shopper, because we still got to shop. All right, let's see here. I've been inside your head, Kathy. I know. You know what? I have been accused of that a lot. You know what else I was accused of today? Well, this hurt. Not being subtle. Somebody said, you are not subtle. I'm like, damn it. I've really been working hard on my subtlety skills. But apparently, I need to go back to the drawing board and try some more. So that is a label that I am not subtle. And then the I am phrase, I am not subtle. So really traumatizing. I'm not going to eat over it. It's okay, but well. Anyway, a compulsive overeater. Your definition is spot on, Jerry. Not mine. Not my definition. That is OA's definition. I just want you to know that. Okay, but I thought that was fascinating. That it wasn't an alcoholic, it wasn't an addict, it's a compulsive overeater. Big, big difference. All right, very words to think about. I'm not going to say chew on because we don't need to be doing that. All right, Christy, I am compulsive about more than just eating. Right. I obsess over being under calories, exercising. Right, obsession. Yeah, that's why OA is so good for me. Exactly. So really, maybe the O could be obsessive. I'm obsessively addictive about certain things, right? That could be my OA for sure. Obsession, oh my gosh, yes. Getting control over food in our heads. Well, you know what? Gaining control. I just kind of have learned that since I can't control food, I can only control myself. Then my job is to stay away from the food because once I get engaged with the food always wins. So I don't engage it. So I control myself, not the food. That's the distinction. Again, this is always the stuff that runs around in my head. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means this is the stuff I think about and how I make it work for me. Otherwise, I will find reasons for it not to work. Well, I just can't get control over the food. I just can't do it. See? Oh, but I need to control myself, don't I? Darn it. You see? Can't argue with that one. All right. Just come to OA. It's so helpful. Absolutely, Christy. It absolutely is. Let's see. Our reactions and behavior to our experiences and emotions, Melissa says. Right. How are we, you know what? It's life on life's terms. What are we doing about the things that life is dealing us? How are we dealing? Are we dealing with things in a healthy way or an unhealthy way? Are we being passive aggressive? Are we being cruel and mean? Are we not being humble? Right? Are we being dishonest with ourselves and with others? This is really, really important stuff. This is all part of this thing that they call addiction, okay, which really is just an unhealthy way of dealing with life and using substances and behaviors, processes, instead of coping with or facing or dealing with life. Okay? We put those other things in the way because we don't like what's happening to us. You know what? My dog died, so I need to go shopping so I'll feel better. Retail therapy. No, I need to deal with the fact that my dog died. I need to deal with that. I need to grieve over that. Right? See what I'm saying? Somebody is really, really sick and it's stressful in my house, and so I need some ice cream. Okay, no, you need to deal with the fact that your life is very stressful because someone in your house is very, very sick. You need to deal with that because eventually you're going to have to deal with it one way or another, and there's just not going to be enough ice cream on the planet to deal with it. All right. Gosh, we're running late, guys. All right, let's see here. I want to close it out. Let's see. Absolutely about behaviors. Yes, I really believe that. It always comes down to the behaviors, the thought process, right? The thought, the feeling, the behavior, the whole thing. They all go together. What I think, if I think that I don't like myself, then I'm going to behave in ways that are not about someone who likes themselves, right? And then I'm going to feel bad about myself. That's how that all works. Okay. For some of us, it's not even certain foods, but the behavior. Bingo. That's right. That's right. You know, like I always say, I could obsess over a pile of lint and say that, you know, I need to go to Lint Collectors Anonymous. I mean, Lint Pickers Anonymous, right? I mean, it's the compulsion, it's the obsession, it's the I can't leave that lint alone, you know, whatever it is. Let's see here. Stacy says 2 things: obsession with food, weight, etc., and any translation of that obsession into any kind of compulsive food behavior. Brilliant. Dieting, restricting, weighing, purging, exercising. I'm doing a standing O. Okay, I'm going to stand up. Bravo. All right. Okay, well, you couldn't see my face, but I was smiling. All right, go Stacy. Freaking love that. That is absolutely brilliant. I could not have said it better and did not in 30 minutes. You know what? Do you want to do the show tomorrow? I think maybe it'll be a lot shorter. All right. Jerry, yes, I am addicted to bad food behaviors. There you go. Brilliant. Brilliant. Doesn't that put it in a whole new light? Doesn't that reframe it for you? I'm addicted to unhealthy food behaviors. I'm getting rid of the word bad. I don't like that one because that's too shaming. It's too judgy. But unhealthy food behaviors. Absolutely love that. Doesn't that give you guys power? Don't you feel more powerful knowing that? It's less judgmental. Look, I am addicted to unhealthy food behaviors. I do not behave in healthy ways around certain substances or, you know, when I'm faced with certain situations, I deal with things in an unhealthy way. And I think I'm addicted to that unhealthy behavior. And I would like to be addicted to healthy behavior. Or not addicted. I would just like not to be compulsive, and that's where the peace lives. All right. Managed problem. I like that description. Absolutely. You know what? Some problems just never go away. They're just managed so that they're not as big. You know what? Like, for example, if someone has cancer, that's always going to be a problem for them. Even if they go into remission, it could come back, right? You manage the problem, whether you do the chemo or the radiation or whatever it is that has to happen there. You manage the problem. It's still a problem. It doesn't mean, whoo, I don't have to worry about the cancer anymore because I'm doing chemo. No. But you are doing something to address the problem. See, that's how things can change, and you're not eating over it. So, you know, I think that's really, really important. All right. You know what? Being an addict, so don't say you're an addict. Hard to admit. Just say, like you said above, that you do not, that you obsessively and compulsively participate in unhealthy food behaviors and other behaviors too. If you're broke and you need to fix it, you're worth it. If you're broke, you need to fix it. You are worth it. Go, Kathy. I agree. Another t-shirt in the making. All right. Such a great topic. I'm so glad, you guys. And there's so much more going on below that, but I don't want to hold you out longer. It's just too long a show already. So thank you so much for participating and giving me this amazing feedback. I don't know about you, but I am totally energized. Totally energized, seeing things in a whole new way. Let's talk some more about this, okay? Talk about it on my wall. Talk about it with your friends. Talk about it in group, whatever it is. Let's talk about this thing. Let's bring it out of the shadows, out of the darkness, out from under the bed. Let's bring it out of the closet and put it out there, shine a light on it for the world to talk about so that we don't have to be ashamed about this anymore. If it's a problem, it's a problem. That does not make you or me bad people. If you ask me, the fact that I know that it's a problem and know that I need to manage it and that I have options available, well, that makes me pretty darn smart. How about you? All right. If so, call me an addict, whatever it takes. All right, you guys, you have a great day. Oh my gosh, who knows what we're going to talk about tomorrow? But let tomorrow take care of itself, right? One day at a time. Live in the here and now. All right, my phone's ringing. I got to scoot. I'm going to sign off and remind you all to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, live your recovery. Remember, you can't stop feeding what's eating you if you don't know what's eating you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.